Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden in plain sight within company filings. Today, we're diving into an 8K report, which is basically a company's way of telling us about a big event that happened. And let me tell you, this one has some interesting ripple effects for those interested in the world of digital assets and exchange-traded funds. So, what is the big news? It is all about the Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust ETF, also known by its ticker symbol ETH. This ETF is a way for regular investors to get exposure to Ethereum without actually having to buy and hold the cryptocurrency itself. It is designed to track the price of Ether, the digital currency of the Ethereum network. Now, here's where things get a bit technical, but bear with me because it is important. The price of this ETF is determined by something called an index. Think of an index as a carefully curated basket of prices from different places where you can buy and sell the actual asset. In this case, the index is the CoinDesk Ether Price Index, or the ETX for short. This index tracks the price of Ether across various digital asset trading platforms. The big news in this filing is that CoinDesk Indices, the folks who manage this index, have made a change. They've added a new trading platform, Bitstamp by Robinhood, to their list of sources for calculating the Ether price. This is happening because Bitstamp has reached a certain level of trading activity, a minimum liquidity requirement that the index provider looks for. They also didn't remove any other platforms during their regular checkup. So as of the 21st of December 2025, the key platforms used to figure out the price of Ether for this ETF are Coinbase, Kraken, Crypto.com, LMAX, Digital, Gemini, and now Bitstamp. Why does this matter? Well, the index provider can change these platforms at any time. They have scheduled reviews where they might add or remove trading venues. This is crucial because the more reliable and representative the trading venues are, the more accurately the index can reflect the true market price of Ether. For an ETF, accurate pricing is everything. If the underlying index isn't a good reflection of the asset's price, the ETF's price will also be off. This can lead to what is called tracking error, where the ETF does not perform as expected compared to the actual Ether price. Now, let's shift gears slightly because understanding how this ETF operates involves a bit about its structure. The specific shares we're talking about here are the Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust ETF shares. And as I mentioned, they trade under the ticker symbol ETH on the NYSE Arca Inc. This exchange is a major player, and having the ETF listed there gives it significant visibility and accessibility for investors. This filing also points out that Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust ETF is considered an emerging growth company. For those who aren't familiar, this is a designation given to newer companies that allows them to use certain regulatory accommodations. It basically means they get a bit of a grace period to adopt new financial accounting rules. This is common for new financial products and ETFs as they establish themselves in the market. While this report doesn't contain extensive financial tables like a 10Q or 10K, the information about the index change is the core story here. The implications are more about the operational integrity and accuracy of the ETF rather than immediate financial performance numbers. So, what does this all mean for you, the investor? The addition of Bitstamp to the index is generally a positive sign. It suggests increased liquidity and a more diverse set of data points being used to determine the ETF's price, potentially leading to better tracking of the actual Ether price. It shows the index provider is actively managing the index to ensure it remains a robust benchmark. However, it is important to remember that the digital asset space is constantly evolving. Changes to trading venues, regulatory shifts, and market volatility are all inherent risks. The index provider's ability to adapt and maintain the index's integrity is a key factor in the ETF's long-term success. Looking at this filing, the Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust ETF is making moves to ensure its pricing mechanisms are sound. The addition of Bitstamp is a step towards a more comprehensive and potentially more accurate reflection of the Ether market. This is good for investors who rely on the ETF to fairly represent the price of Ether. My take on all this is that it is a positive development for the ETF. The clarity and transparency around these index adjustments are what investors need in the volatile digital asset market. It reinforces the idea that this ETF is being managed with an eye towards accuracy and investor confidence. The main risk here, as always with digital assets, is the inherent volatility of Ether itself and potential regulatory changes. But from the perspective of how the ETF is structured and priced, these adjustments to the index methodology are a sign of good housekeeping. To wrap up, the Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust ETF is actively working to keep its pricing mechanism robust by updating its reference index. This is a sign of a maturing financial product in a dynamic market. Alright, that is our breakdown of this 8K filing. What is your take on these index changes and what they signal for the future of Ether ETFs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate finance. Don't forget to check out our Discord community linked in the description for even more insights and discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.